and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be sharing the SmithTiny version 3. This is another tarot deck from Deckstiny. I have previously worked with the SmithTiny first edition, which also came with extra cards that were Classic Tales collection. I'll share them with you in a moment. And I've also worked previously with the SmithTiny Glossy Hologram edition, which was like the second edition, if you will. So I've had two previous editions of this tarot, and this is the third. It arrives in a beautiful hardboard box, which is really bright and colourful. As you can see, the the colour schemes are completely different from that of the first and the second deck. The first and the second deck just came in really flimsy tuck boxes, so I really like the evolution of this deck in terms of how it's changed and how it's improved. I think the packaging is so much better, especially for display purposes. You can see here it's got that glittery gold on it. It says 78 cute tarot cards. And there is edging on the side here. It explains that the artist is Marte Horonumba, the artwork is Umsin Funfat, and there's another artist here, Pet Pop Pot. I think I've said that right. So this is a really lovely deck. It gives you some examples of the cards on the back and does say that it's suitable for beginners and experts, but I would like to point out that this deck does not come with any guidebook. So upon opening the box, again, you have the titling around the edges. And then inside the box, you've just got the Deckstiny logos going on there. So I'll pop that into the background. Here is the third version of this deck. As you can see, it's all glitzy and gold and shiny. I will just pull out a bit so you can see the edging. Here is this beautiful hologram blue. In comparison to the first deck, which I showed you the packaging before, the edging was a hologram red and the card backs were yellow. Whereas the second version of the deck, there was no edging, it was white and the card backs were white. So we've got one set of card backs, two sets of card backs, and then the third set. Completely different. I love this new edging, it's beautiful. So we'll take a look now at what comes with the deck. First of all, each of the Deckstiny decks come with a certificate explaining exactly which number you've got, because there are only a limited amount of decks printed, 1,000 in this case, so I've got 866. So you get your certificate. You then get a art card or packaging card and another art card here, and then a note card so you can keep notes. It's really nice. Now, these cards here are also extra. They refer to the traditional tarot people. So we've got William Ryder and Son. And we've got Arthur Edward Waite, as in the Ryder and Waite decks. And then we've got Pamela Colman Smith, of course, and the cartoon versions of them. And then we have a Happy Squirrel card. Now, I don't tend to keep these cards here. These cards here in my tarot deck. I tend to put them to one side and keep them as collector items. But the Happy Squirrel card tends to be featured in every Deckstiny deck, and I do pop it into my deck, so that goes alongside my deck. So we begin with the Fool. Now, I just want to find, I might not have the Fool straight to hand here, but if you can see here, here's a Six of Pentacles from the first deck. Straight away you can see that the titling has changed there. So we've got titling on a wooden background to white titling. But the imagery is still the same, whereas the second deck, if we take a card from there, see how this was hologram? The text is different there, no wooden background. So we've gone from mixed case to uppercase text here from the second to the third evolution of these cards. One's hologram, and obviously this new version is matte. So we've got the Fool. We have beautiful bright bold colours here. I love this deck. It's a great deck. We've got the Magician. Again, really based on those traditional Rider-Waite cards. It's just that the imagery is obviously all cartoon. Now, there is a difference between these cards and the previous decks, and that is if I show you Judgment, you can see the eyes are completely black here in the first edition of this deck, whereas now in this third edition you can see the whites of the eyes, so that's a little bit different. We've got the numbering there at the top, so there's a magician, and we've got the High Priestess. It's really nicely done. I love how these cards, it's like a little journey of how they've come about, really. Then we have the Empress, really bright and bold. I really love this dress. All the fruit on it there, and obviously the corn. Then we have the Emperor. Beautiful, beautiful cards. I really do like seeing the whites of their eyes, because rather than looking quite sinister with them black button style eyes, we've got the whites of the eyes, and they feel friendlier. They feel more approachable cards. The Hierophant, again, all the symbology is there. And then we have the Lovers. Really bright, bold, great for beginners, but like I said, there is no guidebook. So if this is a deck that you'd like to acquire, you may also want to acquire a guidebook. So here we go, is the Chariot. Then we've got Strength. Really bright, bold, colourful, lovely cards. They are a matte in finish, so there's no gloss to them, no holograms to them, there's no gold writing on them. It's just, the glitzy edging is just blue. It's really nice and plain and simple. We've got the Hermit here. A lovely, lovely card. I've got to say, I've got another Hermit to show you from the second edition. You can see the imagery is identical. It's just that hologram effect, that glossy hologram effect has gone. I've got to say I prefer this font. I really do prefer the titling in that mixed case font, because you've got the number at the bottom as well, whereas these you've got the number at the top. So you can see there are differences, but obviously they're very, very similar. Wheel of Fortune, really bright, bold, colourful, lovely, lovely cards. Justice, the Hanged Man, and I'll always do this with the Hanged Man, just swivel them the other way so you can see. Yeah, quite happy there. And then we've got Death. The cards haven't changed at all in terms of imagery. Temperance, the Devil, the Tower, rather chaotic there, but very cartoony. I do love this. The Star, really bright, bold, beautiful. So totally Rider-Waite, but modern, cartoony, childlike. Very good for teenagers, first starter readings. So we've got the Moon and the beautiful Sun. And then we've got Judgment. Now I've got another version of Judgment here, and this is from the first deck. But if I'm right, I changed this. So this is actually from the Fairy Tales deck. That is the Classic Tales collection. So you can see there is some difference. Yep. So that's that one. Then we have got the World. And then we've got the Ace of Wands. Really bright, bold, colourful, beautiful. 2 of Wands, 3 of Wands, the 4 of Wands. The imagery is so classic, but just classic cartoon. 5 of Wands, and the 6 of Wands, and the 7, and the 8. And I love how simplistic they keep things. And then we've got the 9 of Wands there, and the 10 of Wands, and the Page of Wands. You'll have seen many of these images in my past reviews of the SmithTiny Tarot. The Knight of Wands, the Queen of Wands, the King of Wands. And then we've got the Ace of Cups. Really lovely, bright, bold cards. 2 of Cups, 3 of Cups, the 4 of Cups, and you can they're so easy to interpret. A lot of the readings, even without a guidebook, you can see by the imagery what's there. Like the 5 of Cups, you can see misery and that grief, but the cup stood up right behind him. The 6 of Cups, and then we've got the 7 of Cups. I've got another comparison card here. This is from the original first deck. You can see here they're completely identical cards. It is literally just the titling and the numbering in how they are. So yeah. And then we've got the 8 of Cups, the 9 of Cups, the 10 of Cups, the Page, the Knight of Cups, the Queen of Cups, and the King of Cups. So I'm just flying through these because I have done reviews of this deck before. It's literally just the quality of it. The Ace of Swords, the 2 of Swords, the classic 3 of Swords here, and the 4 of Swords, the 5, and the 6. The imagery is just brilliant to work with, especially for younger readers. 7 of Swords there. And then we've got the 8 of Swords and the 9 of Swords. I mean, even if you didn't have a guidebook, you can see here how anxious they are and that worry. So easy to interpret. And the 10 of Swords, very much so easy to interpret. And we've got the Page of Swords here, the Knight of Swords, the Queen of Swords, and that King of Swords. Ace of Pentacles. I love the Ace cards in this deck. They're just really nice. Then we've got the 2 of Pentacles. I've got another comparison here from the first deck, so you can see the eyes there are different, but everything else is identical. The eyes and the labelling there. And it's entirely up to you, isn't it, which version of the deck you prefer. The 3 of Pentacles, the 4 of Pentacles, the 5 of Pentacles, the 6, the 7, the 8, the 9, the 10. They're so easy to see what's going on. Then we've got the Page, and then we've got the Knight. Here's another comparison card. This is from the 2nd edition. So you can see there the hologram's not here, and the eyes this time have got the whites on them. But otherwise, again, completely the same apart from that titling. I do prefer this font, however, I must say. And then we've got the Queen of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles, and then we have a thanks for your support card and an extra art card. So really, really lovely, lovely deck. Which one do I prefer when it comes to the SmithTiny? Oh, really difficult to say. I've got to say I loved when the SmithTiny came out with their extra sort of deck where you could choose more Disney-fied characters, because I actually swapped them in. And I think these are the original characters, so the Disney-fied ones must be... So I say Disney-fied, the classic tales must be in here somewhere. I'm just trying to find, yeah, so like we've got Snow White there, look, as the world. So I did swap them in because I really liked that. And we've got, obviously, you should recognise this young lady as a High Priestess, is Jasmine. So yeah, I do like the first deck just because of the fact that we had the optional SmithTiny Classic Tales to swap the Major Arcana cards with. I loved the second deck because of the fact that it had the titling there in this lovely italic writing. I wasn't so keen on the original wooden background for the first deck. I liked the titling in this. The hologramming I found quite annoying when I was trying to photograph this deck, but otherwise I like the feel of it. It is quite waxy though when you're shuffling it, and there is no edging. I wasn't keen on the card backs on this deck. So the third deck for me, I really like the card backs and I love the blue edging. The titling, it's okay. I would have preferred it to be mixed case like the previous deck, but the feel of the cards being matte, really, really, really nice. And the eyes being the whites of the eyes, so they do look more approachable and lovely. Which version is my favourite? Quite possibly this one. But then each of them have their own merits. So let me know if the SmithTiny Tarot is something you'd be interested in, whether it's something you already own, which version you own, and whether you'll be looking at getting version 3. I hope you found this video informative and useful. Thank you for watching and take care.